Yo, what up, YouTube? Decided to bring y'all some of this midnight love. One time for your man. You know, I was posed with the question, do I think that in the event that P. Diddy gets convicted, do I feel as though he'll get stabbed up in prison? That's a very, very interesting, but yet broad question. I don't know if there's really a way to fully answer that question, because it depends on exactly what he was convicted of, because some of the charges are not quite as serious as other charges. For instance, let's just say they convict him of just the prostitution and prostitution only. Well, in a situation like that, he could land at a camp. He's going to be at and I would just figure, I've never been to the feds, but I would figure that he's not going to land up at a USP or, maximum security or anything like that. So I could see him going to a minimum security prison in the event that he's convicted of prostitution. Now, those other charges, they all carry a lot of weight. The RICO, the arson, conspiracy. I don't really see him getting convicted of any of those charges. They just don't have the proof. There's just no proof. They're bringing witness after witness to damage his character. Essentially what they're doing is, and I touched upon this the other day in one of my videos, essentially what they're doing is they're saying that his entire organization was a criminal enterprise. So the individuals that were working for him, they were the culprits. They were the co-conspirators. The reason that they were never charged is because they were given immunity. I'm going to give you immunity, but you're going to get on these stands and you're going to say what we need you to say to try to secure this conviction, if you will, of P. Diddy. So when so many people are saying a one-man RICO, it's really not a one-man RICO. It's really not a RICO, period. But they want a jury to believe that. And I just don't believe a jury is going to buy that. I just don't. I think they're going to see right through it. In the event that they do get a conviction, they're going after his assets. They know good and darn well that P. Diddy, the money that he's made throughout all of the years was legitimate money. But because allegedly he was using these legal businesses to further his criminal enterprise, quote unquote, they have grounds to come after all of his assets. I think that is a witch hunt. I think that it's it's just sad, man. It's sad because this whole RICO and conspiracy thing that the government uses, basically anybody can be charged with a RICO at this point. At any given time, anybody can be charged with the RICO. Say you have a successful business and you're doing things on the side, having freak offs. You make the wrong people mad, the government comes after you. They're going to find a couple people that know exactly or somewhat what you were doing on the side in your personal time that has nothing to do with your business. And they're going to threaten them. Oh, you want to be a conspirator? You want to go jail? You want to go home? Tell us what he was doing, or we're going to charge your ass. Get 4, 5, 6 people. Doesn't even take that many people. You get a few people, if you will. Next thing you know, you're facing a RICO. That charge right there should be, unless you're really, really running a criminal enterprise, like some real live mafia, that charge should be not allowed at all. It's just a way to railroad people. So, to answer that question in a nutshell, I think it just depends on where he goes. P. Diddy got a lot of money. But if they come after his assets, he's still going to have money because a lot of that stuff is not even in his name. It's in his kid's name, his mom's name. So he was very, very smart about that. I feel as though he's going to be okay regardless, money-wise. You know, you had a rapper, Tory Lanez. Some people refer to him as a rapper. Some people refer to him as a, R&B artist. For you all that's not familiar and you're interested, just Google Tory Lanez. About 2 years ago, roughly 2 years ago, he was tried, and convicted of shooting rapper, I believe her name is Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion. I don't really listen to her, so hopefully I got her name. I'm pronouncing her name right. If not, no disrespect. They allege that it was 3 of them. It was Megan Thee Stallion, another female. I'm not sure she was a rapper, but she was a friend of them both. And they were at a party or something like that. Something jumped off. Megan Thee Stallion ended up getting shot in the foot. It wasn't one of those shots to where she just blatantly got shot in the foot. I think a fragment hit her. Like the bullet bounced off the ground or something like that and it hit her in the foot. She said that Tory Lanez was the one that shot her. And this dude was a very, very successful producer, a very successful, individual in the music game. He goes to trial and he gets convicted. 10 years. State pen in California. It's a travesty. Everybody knows that's close to the case. I didn't really follow the case like that. But all the individuals that followed the case, they all blatantly said that he wasn't the one that shot her. Got convicted anyway. All the money in the world didn't help him in that scenario. 10 years, hard labor. California Department of Corrections, state pen. Fast forward until now, roughly 2 years later. There were reports last week, I believe, Tory Lanez stabbed up 14 times in prison. You know how the internet can sometimes be a little misleading. People put out false things, but once you see it on TMZ, it's pretty accurate. I don't have the guy's name in front of me now. Mexican fella ran up on Tory Lanez and stabbed him 14 times with a shank. Hopefully you youngsters are listening to this. No matter how bad you are, how tough you are, how much money you got or you think you got, that can sometimes put you in a box, literally. Tory Lanez was one of those individuals that, from what I hear, he bought every Christmas time, everybody on the yard got something, like money on their books, man. He was for the inmates, he was looking out for people, but it's always, regardless of the good things, the great things that you do, it's always going to be somebody that has a problem with you. Oh, you think he all that, man? He ain't the only one getting money. We getting money too. Ran up on him, stabbed him up 14 times. They released a video. The video's public now. Luckily for Tory Lanez, he was able to get up and run away from the confrontation, even after being stabbed 14 times. He's expected to make, according to TMZ, he's expected to make a full recovery. 2 collapsed lungs. They said he'll be just fine. One of those scenarios to where probably shouldn't be here, but I guess it just wasn't his time to go. Stabbed 14 times, and he was able to get away from this bigger dude. I'm sure that Tory Lanez had protection in there. By all accounts, this assault happened at like 7:30 a.m. Prison has a whole lot of blind spots. Prison has a whole lot of different places that you may find you're by yourself. Like, for instance, when you have a visit, your crew can't always walk up to the visitation room, depending on what time your visit is and depending on how the prison has it's structured. Some places they can walk you all the way up to the visit. They're going to be waiting on you when you get out of visit. But when you have to go to medical and pill call, or they call you up to the officer station and things like that, you might just be walking by yourself. The individual that stabbed him, or allegedly stabbed him, blatantly stabbed him, but I gotta say allegedly, which I don't see why I have to say allegedly, because he came out and admitted that he stabbed him. He said that he heard Tory had a hit on his head, so in turn, I went on and got him before they got me. And that was his reasoning for stabbing him. He claimed that he didn't mean to kill him. It was never his intention to kill him, rather. But you hit him 14 times and chased after him as he was running away. People have these images, these rappers, and they have these images of, and I'm not putting Tory Lanez necessarily in that category, because it's not his fault that he got hit up. A lot of people think that he's innocent. They've had I want to say it was the driver or security dude that came forward and said he didn't come forward initially because he was afraid, but his conscience wouldn't allow him to sleep at night. He said he was there. Tory wasn't the one that fired the gun. His DNA wasn't on the gun. There was no hand power. I don't know if he's going to get a new trial. I don't know if he's going to get it overturned. I would imagine that he would. But it seems as though there's another innocent man in prison. See, these prosecutors are ruthless, man. And the bigger the name is, the more ruthless they are. The more they're going to come after you. P. Diddy is such a large figure. Yeah, Tory Lanez is a celebrity. So just imagine what P. Diddy is. In the event, like I said, that he gets convicted of the more serious charges, he's going to have a problem on his hands, because he's going to go to a USP. And they're going to be extorting the hell out of him. They're going to extort him. Anybody would get extorted knowing that you have that type of money, unless you putting it down on the streets and you go inside and you're in a somewhat of a position of power, if you will. But if you don't have any street ties or anything like that, you're going to get extorted, man. Here it is, you worth a couple $100 million. It's more than that, but I'm just saying, let's just say he loses and they seize some of his money. They know he got bread. You're going to have to pay to be on the yard. He knows that. Quite sure he knows that. Yeah, it could happen to P. Diddy. It can happen to anybody. Do I think that it will? I don't know. Like I said, he's going to have protection. But sometimes it's your own people that get you. Sometimes it's the people that's closest to you. They get jealous. They get envious. Envious ones are the worst people to associate yourself with. Problem is, a lot of times you don't know that they're the ones that are envious until it's too late. Prison is dangerous. I always speak about it. There's nothing glorious. They glorify it on TV. You got dudes or people doing skits, and they make prison seem cool. Like you just really in there putting it down, and you in there with cell phones, and you got money, and you're having fun. What is fun about being in an environment to where there's no women other than the correctional officers or the staff? Now, if that's the way that you swing, I guess it could be fun for you, but an individual that likes women, what could be fun and enjoyable about being in prison? You get a 30-year sentence, 22 years old, and you catch 30 years, you got to do 85% of that 30 years. Was that 25 and a half years? What's cool about that? What's fun about that? What's fun about sleeping around a bunch of men? Y'all see these women out here today? Are my eyes the only eyes that seem to be working? You got opportunities. You can go get you a job, man, and get you a job, and while you're working that job, it may not be the best of jobs. Go to school, get you a trade, work your way up that job, start your YouTube channel. There's all type of things that you can do. A business. There's a lot of things that you can do. But the street life is dead, man. It never was the best thing to be in anyway. Apologize about the seatbelt belt sound, but I'm on my street now, so took my seatbelt off a little prematurely, but I am on the street, and it will stop in just a second. So many opportunities out here, and I know that people get in a rut. I know that life gets hard, and you want to give up. You want to take the easy way. You want to go pick up a bag. You want to go pick up a gun. You want to do some white collar crime or whatever and finesse the banks, credit unions, or out of a lot of money. I understand it. But you got to keep this in mind. If you fucked up out here and you end up getting caught, because you will, because one time always turns to 2 times. 2 times is going to turn to 4 times. 4 times is going to turn to 8. And then next thing you know, it's a lifestyle. You all the way in it. Just think how fucked up you're going to be in jail, because now you're having to call home and beg for money. You need money in jail like anything else. You need money just to get on the phone in prison. Think about that. If you don't have anybody putting money on your phone in prison, certain prisons, but in Kentucky, if you don't got nobody putting money on your phone in prison, you can't even make a phone call to your family. Even the little $26, $27 a month that you make, some get 50, depending on they charges. If they charges are violent and they don't qualify for the good time, the 4-day a month good time program that they offer, and so you'll get double. You get $52, $53 a month, $54 a month. But if you don't have money on your phone account, you can't even call home, man. If something happens to your mother, your father, your kids, your family members, just anybody that's, of significance significance to you, you can't even speak to them because you don't have no money. So you're relying on the outside world. Hey, bro, I need you to put this money, set this phone account up. Take time out of your busy day. Stop what you're doing, because I chose to be out there doing dirt, doing crime, and set this phone account up for me. And take your hard-earned money and send it in here to me. And I need you to do this on a regular basis, because I'm fucked up. Even when you have money, they take it. You see, they coming after Diddy's money. So you think they ain't going to take your little 20, 30, 40,000 in a shoebox, 80,000, 100,000? Once you gone, your money, unless you got a dedicated, ride or die woman, and I've seen them, so let's not get it twisted. I've definitely seen them, and they do exist. But you better make sure that you got that, because I've also seen the flip side of where she gone with that money. Her new dude, they done formulated a plan. Well, my dude, I know where his money's at or whatever. Hey, look, man, I can flip the money. I can do this. I can do that, and put the money back, and he'll never know. And sometimes the dude is just outright rob her. Outright rob her. But she's wrong for even having him in the mix. So it's so much that comes along with being incarcerated. And you got money, you're gonna spend it on commissary, so you're still giving it back to him. You're gonna spend it on phone calls. If you got money, you calling home as much as you can. You ain't just calling home one time a day. Nah, man, you trying to keep tabs on your female. The same female that 3 or 4 days straight, you not coming home. 2 or 3 days straight, she's blowing your phone up. You got your phone on do not disturb. Now all of a sudden, you need to know her every move. Yeah, that part. Arguing when she don't answer the phone. Cussing her out when she takes too long to answer the phone. When you don't receive that letter. Man, you ain't wrote me. Man, I done wrote you 3 times, nigga. I done wrote you 3 times this week. You get really, really demanding. I don't care. You're supposed to write me every day. The relationship becomes very, very toxic. It's very difficult to deal with somebody that's incarcerated anyway. Even if they cool, even if they're not putting you through these things, just the mental aspect of it. My man's locked up. He ain't coming home for another 5 years. That's another 5 Christmases, birthdays, New Year's, Valentine's Day. I'm seeing all my friends. They're out with their significant others, posting pictures on, social media or whatever. And I'm sitting here waiting on the dude that's incarcerated. Dudes getting at me every 5 minutes, everywhere I go. Can't even walk into the gas station without a dude getting at me. Girlfriends in my ear. Girl, you need to leave that nigga. I got a friend I can hook you up with. Too many dudes all in your inbox. Facebook, Instagram, Snap, whatever. It's just a lot of peer pressure. I would tell my daughter in a heartbeat. She's asked me before, Pops, my dude go to jail. Should I stick with him? Depends. What's your dude out here doing? Why did he go to jail? He's coming from a 4-time loser. I played the game 4 times and lost 4 times. Did he go to jail for protecting you? Absolutely, you ride with him. But was he out here in these streets, getting it out, getting it how he got it? Okay, if he's doing that, is he providing for you? Is he looking out for you? Is he saving money? Is he making sure you're good? I wouldn't necessarily say that just because he's doing those things that you should rock with him. But I will say, understand that people all, we all make mistakes, and obviously the dude is a good dude. But just be mindful, because a lot of times, once we come home, we got all these plans. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to go legit. I'm going to get my CDLs. I'm going to go to school and do this and do that. And when we come home, it's totally opposite. See, good intentions are only good if you follow through with those intentions. Things are going to not always go as planned. Life never really goes as planned. Say you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. You stay the course, do what you got to do, but just understand that you're going to be bumped off the road from time to time. But that doesn't give you the you don't necessarily want to just jump back into what you was doing. Man, I tried, man. I tried. Bro, you tried. You've been home 47 days. I tried. Joyce Meyer, man. One of the most famous quotes that I ever heard her say. And it's very, very many. Only way you can get to success is stairs, not elevators. We all want to take an elevator. Who wants to walk up all these flights of stairs? You mean to tell me I got to walk up 20 floors? Each floor has 30 steps. Is that 30 times 20? 600 steps, stairs. That's going to take me forever, and I'm going to be tired, and I'm going to be mentally exhausted, physically exhausted. It's got to at least take 20 minutes. Or I can just jump on this elevator and be there in 2 minutes. You do the math. Most people want to take the elevator. A lot of times, man, when we come out of prison, what we don't understand is that life is about accumulation. It's about being patient. It's about just building. There's an individual that I listen to. I haven't listened to him lately, but I used to listen to him all the time. Dave Ramsey. And he has a saying. Live life like nobody else today to live life like nobody else tomorrow. Basically what he's saying is cut back. I don't care if you got to cut your cable off. I don't care if you got to sell one of your cars, get rid of your car payments. He's a financial guru. All the extra spending, the $3 and $4 a day that you spending on cappuccinos and going to Starbucks and you know, just your daily habits, all of that stuff adds up. Come on, Kens, what's $3 or $4 a day, man? What's, you know, I spend, you know, I gotta have my Mountain Dew. It's about spending habits. And when you get to the point to where you have good spending habits and you're cutting out the things that you don't need, yeah, right now everybody else, they riding smooth, they got rims on their cars, and they, you know, they got the diamonds on their neck, they got all of these things that don't mean a damn thing in life. I had a lot of that stuff. I can't say I had it all, but I was 22 with 80,000 under my mattress. Y'all rock with me. I was 22 with 80,000 under my mattress. It was in the 90s. Shit didn't mean nothing. I lost it all. Got it back, lost it all, but I never had money like that. Give me 80,000 now. I'm gonna know what to do with it. We just live in a microwave world, man. We want it now. And it's understandable. It's understandable. But if you would just understand that we can't get it now, not legally, not no legal hustles where you can go and flip and quadruple your money at a stock market, but that's hit and miss, and you know it. But it's crypto and things like that. Yeah, every once in a while, you know, lightning strikes in a bottle. Wealth, having money, being comfortable, however you want to label it, comes over time. Just like with your 401k or your, you know, your retirement or whatever at your job, you're contributing X amount. You know, I tell my daughter, well, she's in nursing school, so she hasn't really started her career like that right now. But whenever you do, whatever your job offers, 15%, 12%, whatever the maximum amount that you can contribute towards your 401k, do that. Hold on, kids. You a 4-time loser. Fuck you know about 401k. I'm a 4-time loser. I was a white-collar criminal. No better than nobody else. But I know a lot of shit. A lot of shit I don't know, but I know a lot of shit. Whatever you can fully contribute to, go ahead and do that. Don't worry about that little money you missing. That ain't shit. It's pre-taxed a lot of times anyway. You ain't even barely even gonna mix. I mean, you'll see that it's gone. And just understand that you're playing the compound game. Interest compound. 5 years, you're not gonna really see anything. Yeah, you'll see a little money building up, but it ain't really 10 years. Okay, I'm seeing a little something, but 15 years, whoa. A little money in my, but damn, this ain't gonna, I can't live the rest of my life on it. You get to that 20-year mark. Yeah. Get to that 20-year, man, especially if you making some money on your job. She's in nursing school. 20 years. Now that interest that you making every year on that money is totally different from if you're gaining 8%, let's just say 10%. That's a good round number. Every single year, you gaining 10% on whatever money that you have in there. It's a big difference between 10% of 60,000, which is $6,000, opposed to 800,000. It's 80,000. Then the next year is 880,000. 10% of that, 88,000. And you just build and you just build. You look up, you done been on your job 30 years. All that interest been compounding. You in your 50s. House is paid for. Kids is grown. You doing what you want to do. Live life now like nobody else. To live life later like nobody else. The other individuals that was balling out of control when you was in your 20s, when you was broke and struggling and crying and you had $20 and your daddy was in the penitentiary. I'm sorry, baby girl. Your daddy was in the penitentiary. Give me a moment. Because I get a little emotional when I get to thinking about this. How I left my baby girl out here. Got $20 to last you through the week and you eat noodles. You want to go party with everybody else, but you can't because you don't have the money to pay to get into the parties. You got $20. You don't have a car. You don't know how you're going to get, home for the holidays, and you're prideful. My family is very supportive, but you don't even want to make that call to let them know that I need some money. And now the roles reversed. All the people that you seen that was balling, that was getting these credit cards, running their credit, getting cash advances, you didn't do those things. Now here it is at 26, you're in your third semester of nursing school. You don't have any kids. Not to say that having kids is a bad thing. Got a 780 credit score. Just think what it's going to be like, God willing, in 10 years from now. Them same individuals are going to be looking at you like, wow. See, you was the turtle at the time. I always say the turtle don't always lose the race. Patience, man. Life is about patience. And I still have to learn that to this day. Hold on, kids. You was talking about P. Diddy getting stabbed up. Now you didn't talk to... Yeah, because all of this it all correlates. It all directly deals with going to prison. Because most of the time, not always, but the majority of the time when you go to prison is why? Because you want money. I want money and I want it now. Was that J.G. Wentworth? I want my money and I want it now. You want it now. Microwave world. It leads to destruction. Save. Invest. But trying to get it overnight, that's why casinos are very successful. Because people, there's people that go in there and they hit big or whatever. But guess what? They typically going to lose it back. And casinos know that. Do the right thing simply because it's the right thing to do. Exercise patience. Cut out a lot of the extracurricular that you don't even need. I don't care if this person is wearing $1,000 jeans and you got on some $30 Levi's. Good. What does that mean? Get caught up and need to go cash those $1,000 jeans in and see what you get. The average millionaire, from what I've been told, drives a used car. He ain't walking around with diamonds and shit on and might have on some Levi's, a white t-shirt, and this dude's worth some millions because he don't look like he's worth money. At the end of the day, I don't want to see anybody get stabbed up. I know P. Diddy's a piece of shit for how he abused women and what he did to Cassie, and yeah, he's a piece of shit. He's an arrogant son of a bitch. Hopefully this humbles him. But the whole, sex trafficking, conspiracy, and all those things, no, I don't agree with that. But we got to start making better choices, better decisions. We're not bigger than the program. I don't see this RICO charge, conspiracy charges that the government is charging people with. I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. Be mindful of it. You don't have to be famous. Be mindful of it, because you can find yourself easily the next individual that's fighting for your life and just trying to get something as simple as a bond. You can find yourself in that exact same predicament. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you like the video, or the audio rather. Feel free to comment, definitely share, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. The noises that you're hearing is just my seat when I move around. Come on, Kens, you let one. No, it's just my seat. Real Kens TV.